Hey everyone, and welcome to the Sandbox. Today is a very special day because a year ago today, I started this channel with the intention to highlight a show concept of mine for which I have made 3 very short and very amateur animatics. Of course, along the way, I enjoyed writing and editing different types of videos, from movie rankings to comedy sketches. And so, to celebrate this channel's first birthday, I'm giving you a very much anticipated video of mine, my top 20 seasons of TV. I'm sorry, but my top 10 was just way too heartbreaking. I'm giving you 20, deal with it. And remember, this is just my list. It's not the right list by any means, and there are still a ton of great shows that I have yet to watch. So with that said, don't forget to share your list in the comments below, and leave a like if you enjoy this type of content. I do write a lot in the discussion tab for this channel, so be sure to check that out, and let me know what you want to see in the future. Starting off the list at number 20 is Season 2 of That 70s Show. This show really never slows down with its hilarious characters and their situations. It's amazing how much they make you care about the seemingly boring lives of some Wisconsin kids, and yet all it takes is one episode and you're hooked.
I don't want your stupid things in my cool van. What? No, I didn't say you were stupid, just everything you like.
The comedy always hits, the characters are super unique and fun, and while Season 1 does a fantastic job of setting up where things could go, Season 2 is definitely more solid in its delivery on the comedy side, and the relationships are more defined and interesting. I originally had Season 1 here, but after rewatching the first 2 seasons, I realized how much I hate the plotline of Hyde chasing after Donna. It feels like a total betrayal of his character right out of the gate, but luckily Season 2 patches things up between him and Eric and gives us a better vision for Hyde's character on the whole.
Eric Foreman's first suspension. I'm so proud!
No, wait, back up. Why do you get suspended?
Because he's stupid.
They can do that?
Moving on to number 19 is Season 1 of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Another hilarious show that never gives, it's quick, it's smart, and yet never shies away from its goofy charm.
So you were just borrowing those cars?
Ask about his bank account. Ask about his bank account. Ask him about his account. You should ask him about his bank account. Captain, Santiago broke the glass.
Honestly, every season is fantastic, and the reason I really wanted this show on my list is because it's probably the most consistently funny show I've ever watched. It was so hard to choose which season of this show I wanted to highlight, so I'm going with the first season for setting up so many hilarious running gags and kicking off an amazing series. Season 1 gave us the first Halloween heist and Thanksgiving disaster, the Vulture, the Pontiac Bandit, and the notorious cliffhanger ending with Jake going undercover for several months. Most seasons end with Jake going away, whether for good or bad, and it's always something I look forward to writing-wise. The show is simple and never gets too deep, but it's still effective and has its powerful moments. Now at number 18 is Season 2 of Supernatural. One of the longest running TV dramas, Supernatural has been a huge part of my life for over 8 years now. Every season brings new mythology and lore, new monsters, and new hunters. The characters of Sam and Dean Winchester are so charming and lovable, and yet so broken that you really care for these fictional people. You want to see them do better, you want to see them get out of their hellhole of a job, pun intended, and yet you know they can't leave, and you don't want them to either because not only does it make for awesome storytelling, but you know that they're the best ones for the job. Season 2 brings the main narrative to a close as the Winchesters finally track down and face off against their mother's killer. However, the show goes on to reveal that there are much bigger fish in this pond. The build-up of Season 2 and exploration of the characters, as well as the epic finale, definitely make this one of the best seasons of Supernatural, and most definitely my favorite.
Dude, were you on my computer?
No.
Oh, really? Because it's frozen now on bustyasianbeauties.com.
Moving on to number 17 is Season 9 of The Middle. Since it first aired, The Middle was my go-to guilty pleasure show. It was simple, cute, and relatable. It was never the funniest show on the air, but tuning in every week to watch this family from Orson, Indiana was such a pleasure.
Anyway, my locker's in Frosh Hall. They call it that because that's where all the Frosh lockers are. And at first, I almost couldn't remember my locker combination. Another Frosh move. But then I
Oh
thought,
my God, so would you give it a rest?
Excuse me, I am her mother. If I feel she needs to give it a rest, I will tell her to give it a rest.
So anyway, the froshiest thing I did this
Okay,
week.
Sue, let's give it a little break.
The Heck family has one of my favorite TV characters with the mom, Frankie, as she struggles to balance the many difficulties of running a house and raising kids while lacking the money to do it all. Her emotionally unavailable husband makes it hard to deal with her egotistical and stubborn oldest son, Axel, her awkward and cheerful daughter, Sue, and the unusual Brick. Every season was able to captivate me as it furthered the story, showing us the three kids grow up and Frankie learning valuable life lessons as she taught them. I chose season 9 for this list as it was just such a perfect send-off for the show. As I was watching the finale, I actually wasn't aware that they had planned to end the show with this season, and I was freaking out because my show was finally ending after all these years. If you haven't seen the show, I highly recommend. Don't expect extreme drama or hilarity at every corner, just a simple Midwestern family tackling life together.
I'm starving. We need to stop somewhere.
You threw perfectly good food out the window. We're not stopping.
There's granola bars in the blue bag. Wait, where's the blue bag?
Oh, Sue left the blue bag.
Stop flicking me, Axel!
You leave the blue bag, you get flicked.
Don't flick your sister.
See? This is why I didn't want to sit in the middle.
Next up at number 16 is season 3 of Friends. Friends is another show that is consistently funny and enjoyable as we watch the group live life in the Big Apple. Every character has their own quirks and unique personality, making us care for each one all the same.
I'm up. I'm up. I ain't gotten up now.
I chose season 3 because for some reason it's just always the season I pick whenever I want to watch a random episode. The characters are in their most natural states for me, with Ross and Rachel finally together, Chandler being tortured by Janice on a regular basis, Joey struggling to find steady work and hopping from one girl to the next, Monica coming off from her breakup with Richard, and Phoebe being the random glue that keeps this whole group together. While I could do without the canned laughter, I still think this is one of the best written sitcoms out there. Now at number 15 is season 2 of Parks and Recreation. I had a really tough time choosing between season 2 and 3, as they were definitely the most bingeable seasons for me, but I chose season 2 for this show as it's where I really fell in love with the characters, and it's also a more full season with 24 episodes, while season 3 only has 16.
Greg Pakaitis, would you like some boiling hot coffee? Your face? My name is Burt Macklin. I'm with the FBI.
Season 2 introduced us to Greg Pakaitis, Tammy, Dave, Sweetums, and Ben Wyatt and Chris Traeger. It's one of the funniest shows to ever go on the air, has one of the biggest followings, and this season in particular is jam-packed with hilarious storylines, especially Andy getting out from his hole and into a real job. But taking the number 14 spot is season 2 of Community. Community is one of the wackiest shows when you consider it's just about a diverse group of students in a community college, and yet they get into the most insane hijinks and bizarre situations, from rocket simulations to post-apocalyptic paintball warfare.
Come on, just Bush League. I gave seminars on manipulation. I could reach into a man's soul and unravel it with one tug.
Cool, hit me.
You're bald.
So are you.
I'll kill you,
Brought to you by none other than Dan Harmon and the Russo brothers, this show has so much going for it. A wide range of characters to experiment with, and no boundaries limiting what the show can delve into, allows for the most absurd stories. Season 2 takes the cake for this show in my opinion, as it further dives into the characters after a modest introduction in Season 1, expanding on who they are deep down inside. It gives us episodes such as Basic Rocket Science, Abed's Uncontrollable Christmas, and Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. If you've never seen the show, I highly recommend. Moving on to number 13 is Season 4 of Futurama on the whole was always great, filled with awesome sci-fi adventures, intelligent humor, and wacky characters. It's a show that seems too weird to work, and yet that's why it's impossible to turn your head away. It was the OG Rick and Morty in a lot of ways, with the writing staff having 3 PhDs, 7 masters, and over 50 collective years at Harvard. And for me, season 4 was definitely its peak.
Damn! One rock short of rescue!
With episodes like Jurassic Bark and The Sting my personal favorite, the show proves that it can tug on your heartstrings. This season also gives us some of Bender's best moments with episodes like Bender Should Not Be Allowed on TV and Obsoletely Fabulous. And the show never shies away from the most absurd concepts with episodes like The Devil's Hands Are Idle Playthings and The Why of Fry. Every episode of this season brings something new to the table and adds to the legacy that is Futurama. Next up on the list at number 12 is season 5 of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. This was one of the hardest choices on this list to make for me, as there are so many seasons of Sunny that I love to death. Seasons 4, 5, 7, and 12 were all super close, but in the end I had to go with season 5 simply for how memorable it was.
He doesn't like for me to eat the apples with the skin on it. He says the skin's loaded with toxins.
Okay, well, good news. Mac's not here.
I know he's not here, and that's why I need you to do it for me, please, please.
Oh, Jesus. Just eat it with the skin on.
I do not like it with the skin, Dee. I'm not allowed to eat it with the skin. I'm not allowed!
While season 8 has my favorite episode of Sunny with the Serial Defense, season 5 gives us the World Series Defense, the Dennis System, and Frank's Intervention. There is not one episode in this season that I do not like, but if you're a fan of the show, let me know down in the comments below which season was your favorite. Maybe I'll rank all the seasons if I can find time in the future. Taking the number 11 spot is season 1 of Gravity Falls. A super cute, although mystical show about legends and myths, this show is perfect to introduce young kids to fantasy.
He's looking at it. He's looking at it.
Do you like me? Yes. Definitely. Absolutely.
I rigged it.
It's quirky, it's cartoony, it's intriguing, and the story is better than most adult shows I see on the air nowadays. This show has no barriers to entry, you can dive right on in and enjoy. Now, season 2 is just as good and has one of the best finales of all time, but I just love season 1 so much for having that monster of the week vibe that I went with this one in the end. Kicking off the top 10 is season 3 of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Now, if you watched my Avatar ranking video, you'll know I actually had season 2 above season 3, and you're probably wondering why the switch. I mentioned it in the comments, but season 2 and 3 are basically tied for me. I chose season 2 in the end mainly because of sentimental reasons, and also because I think season 3 was as good as it was because season 2 set it up so fantastically. However, Avatar: The Last Airbender is one of the greatest shows of all time for its amazing world building, simple yet interesting magic system, detailed cultural accuracy, and perfect character arcs. And I think Book 3, Fire, really brings the heat with all of this. It realizes the amazing arcs for our characters, gives us the best fight scenes and imagery in the entirety of the show, and has the perfect final build-up to its epic finale. Coming in at number 9 is season 1 of Bob's Burgers. Another guilty pleasure show, Bob's Burgers isn't the funniest or craziest show out there, but it's one of the most enjoyable ones to watch. The Belcher family is strange yet relatable, living in an apartment above their burger business, and each episode brings an unordinary lesson while celebrating the little wins in life. I chose season 1 because, again, they're all so great, but season 1 simply knocked it out of the park, perfectly introducing us to the characters and establishing their town. It also has one of my favorite episodes, Torpedo.
And at my family's restaurant.
And what's the name of that restaurant?
It's God, I'm there every day. It's Bob's Burgers!
burgers!
God.
Gene!
Never mind, that's okay. We can get everything you expect from a burger at...
Moving on to number 8 is season 3 of Superstore. This is one of my sleeper picks because while shows like Parks and Rec and The Good Place have huge followings, most people I talk to have never heard of Superstore, and it's a damn shame.
Enough waiting.
It's white.
You.
What does that mean? Maybe you guys are having a white baby.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
The show exhibits the many horrors of working in retail, from crazy customers to insane rules from corporate. And that's where I think the show shines best. The eternal struggle between those working on the floor in the stores and those working behind their desks in corporate. Unfortunately, the show has turned into PC agendas, making seasons 1 through 3 the closest we'll get to remnants of shows like The Office. And season 3 is by far the peak of the show for me, tackling health funds, viral videos, safety trainings, and even deaths of coworkers. This season doesn't pull any punches and will have you laughing your butt off. Next up at number 7 is season 1 of... I honestly can't remember the last time I saw a show this captivating. While its humor is rather light for a supposed dark humor, its deep exploration of an unfeeling hitman is so analytical and intriguing that it's so hard to turn away. I definitely think season 2 is more solid for the story, filled with more action and more humor.
Oh my god, my guys suck balls, you know it. Especially this motherfucker right here. If I suck balls, you are king of suck balls mountain. Shut the up.
But Gene, the acting instructor, is so distraught for most of the season that it takes away a lot of the charm of the show for me. Plus, season 1 is such a good introduction and filled with awesome moments. The first episode really draws you in right away. While other HBO shows like Westworld and Game of Thrones win in the intrigue department, I think Barry blows them away when it comes to delivery and payoff. It doesn't make you wait until a season finale to get really good. It just starts off that way. I've never heard someone say, oh, just wait until season 2, that's where it really gets good with Barry. It does get better with season 2, but it gets good within the first few seconds. Coming in at number 6 is another sleeper that few have heard of, Gallivant, season 1.
Attend the tale of
This show is such a sleeper pick that I almost forgot about it myself, and this show is super special to me. If you've ever felt like we don't have enough comedy fantasies, then Gallivant is definitely the show for you. It follows the charismatic character of Gallivant, a notorious medieval hero, hell-bent on getting back the love of his life from the seemingly cruel King Richard. Of course, with this show, every trope and cliche is put on full display for us to mock along with the show itself. It's hilarious, it's filled with catchy music, and it's only 8 episodes, so there's really no reason not to watch it. However, kicking off my top 5 is season 19 of South Park.
Come on down South Park and meet some friends, man.
Talk about a social event. There are tons of awesome seasons of South Park, and it was really hard to choose from all of them, but season 19 is just too special to me. From tackling PC culture to fake news, along with a twisted commentary on the 2016 election, this season fires on all cylinders.
Everyone likes me and thinks I'm great in my safe space.
My safe space.
Every Wednesday night, my buddies from college would meet me in the dorm for the next episode of this season, highly anticipating what they would cover after the drama-filled week. We'd always be guessing and speculating, oh, I can't wait to see how they spin this next week. Sometimes they would, and other times they would go for a completely out-of-left-field topic like Tweek and Craig. The serialized storytelling of season 19 wasn't for everyone, but the social and political commentary the season provided, along with the amazing memories it gave me, easily puts it in my top 5. Moving on to number 4, I have season 1 of Stranger Things. The 10th original series for Netflix came out swinging for the fences right off the bat, giving us an eerie, mysterious drama that had the whole world watching in anticipation. Season 3 was just as good, if not better, but Season 1 was such an event. The opening season for the series could easily be a one-off, making it a timeless classic. It delivers on awesome lore, gives us hilarious nerdy kids, suspense, horror, and a whole bunch of questions, some of which we are still asking. It's phenomenal storytelling with an intriguing premise and near flawless execution. But coming in at number 3 is Season 1 of Rick and Morty. This show, as jacked up as it can be at times, is just so amazing. It uses sci-fi tropes and themes along with 70s and 80s classics to then turn them on their head, mocking them while at the same time indulging in their wackiness. This season is such a perfect premiere for the show. It gave us Anatomy Park, the first interdimensional cable, my favorite episode, M. Night Shyamalan's, and freaking Meeseeks.
I can't take it anymore! I just want to die! We all want to die! We're Meeseeks! Why did you even rope me into this? Because he roped me into this! Well, him over there, he roped me into this!
This show has had so much success, from Pickle Rick to the nightmare that was Szechuan sauce, but I gotta give credit where it's due. Season 1 is the one that blew me away and kept me coming back for more. Now coming in as my runner-up is Season 1 of Bates Motel. This show is so brilliant, with every season getting darker and deeper into its psychoanalysis of a character we all wanted to know more about, Norman Bates. If you didn't know, Bates Motel is basically the precursor to Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, telling us how Norman got to be so crazy, with the 5th and final season actually being a retelling of the timeless classic. I honestly love every season of this show, so again, I'm going with the season that kicked it off, and I do think it's deserving of it. The season does an amazing job at keeping you guessing. The writers know that we, the audience, already know where this is heading, and yet they still manage to mess with your head and question your own expectations. You want to feel bad for Norman as you see his life at home before he goes full on psycho, and thus you want to trust him. Episode 4 is even titled Trust Me, but of course the show goes on to give you plenty of reasons not to, or at the least question your trust in the main character. And they do this in the brilliant way of introducing new characters to give a third person's perspective on Norman.
I gotta tell you this, I'm kind of with Bradley now.
How do you mean with?
Well, like we're together. We like each other.
What's this based on?
I slept with her.
Is he sleeping with this girl?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
It's a brilliant show. It's dark, mysterious, and super dramatic, and I highly recommend it to anyone interested in something a little more suspenseful. However, I must warn you, it is not for the faint of heart, and there are triggering moments for those with PTSD or a history of assault. Before I give you my number 1 pick, here are a few seasons of TV that came super close to making my list. Season 6 of The Simpsons, Season 7 of Family Guy, Season 6 of The Walking Dead, Season 1 of Wayward Pines, Season 4 of How I Met Your Mother, Season 1 of The Good Place, and Season 2 of Arrested Development. Again, don't forget to share your list in the comments below. I'd love to start a conversation there, and feel free to check out the discussion tab on this channel for insights into future videos. And with that said, my number 1 season of TV is none other than Season 2 of The Office. The Office is just one of those shows that for some reason was able to get away with so much without constantly being berated with threats of canceling. Its witty social commentary through characters that no one should even care about is phenomenal. Every episode is filled with inappropriate mishaps in the workplace, from sexual harassment to hate crimes.
That little girl is a child. I don't want to see you sniffing around her anymore this afternoon. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Boy, have you lost your mind, because I'll help you find it.
This season gave us the Dundies, the Office Olympics, email surveillance, drug testing, and one of my personal favorites, the injury. All the characters do what they do best in this season, and Pam finally wakes up in the end realizing she's with the wrong guy. Michael is notorious for being an annoying and inappropriate boss, but he still shows this season that he's not useless with episodes like The Client and Casino Night. And you see how much he cares for his employees with episodes like Halloween and Booze Cruise. This season does such an amazing and well-rounded job of bringing it all together, giving every character their shining moments, and setting up the show for wherever it could go next. Well, that's my list. I had a ton of fun and stress making this video. I went from like 90 seasons down to 20. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like. It really helps the channel a lot. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you all next time.